you sent me a test, and I looked at the first couple of questions, and it is a tricky test, certainly. It's certainly aimed at naval people in the Navy, or
Yes,
people
yes.
working with shipping in some kind of way, and so there is a lot of vocabulary connected to shipping. It has all of its own vocabulary, shipping, and I think a lot of people wouldn't be able to tell you where port is or starboard is. Yeah, these kind of words, which are only related to shipping, a lot of people don't know what they mean. And so when it talks about listing and things like that, I know it means leaning. That is quite a regularly used word, but it's not a word that I would expect students to very often know, students of English, EFL students. And so, yeah, I do think it's quite tricky on the one hand, but on the other hand, I mean, let's put it up. Let me try and share that screen because I've got it there. Yeah, maybe I'll be able to do it. Hold on, start screen share, and I can do this screen, but I'll have to go onto here, otherwise we'll have. Okay, can you see this? Yeah, can you see it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So on the one hand, it's hard because it has words like keeled over, batten down the hatches. These are all very, it's all vocabulary from shipping or from the sea. And so, how familiar are you with that kind of vocabulary?
Well, I think I'm not very familiar. I'm trying to find some book about Navy and something like that. For example, this book here, but it's in Portuguese. I would like to find some book
Sorry,
like this in English.
okay, which book? I can't see you at the moment. I'd have to stop sharing. I'll stop sharing and then I can see you. Okay.
But it's in Portuguese. I would like to find
Okay.
some book like this in English, understand?
And it's about
This is the
Shackleton, yeah, Ernest Shackleton.
yes, yes,
Uh-huh.
yes.
I see. Yeah, I'm afraid I've not. I mean, I like the water. I like going out on my paddleboard, but I don't know much about shipping vocabulary. I live on the sea, and so we do have a lot of boats here, and there's a sailing club. People go out on the water. There are a lot of water sports as well. But I think, yeah, that a lot of that vocabulary is specific to people that work in the merchant navy, for example, or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, looking at it, do you have a copy of it there? Because I'll keep it. I won't share it for the moment. But looking at it, the first question's quite easy. But or I consider it quite easy just because you should be able to get it even without knowing all the prepositions.
Yeah, the first questions. The first question. I
Do you,
know.
do you agree it's quite easy? The first one. It's certainly easy for
Mm,
a
it's not
native.
that quite easy for me,
I
I
understand.
think.
Okay, well, a lot of the prepositions, they're really tricky. I teach prepositions a lot in the course I'm making at the moment. A lot of what I'm doing is about prepositions because they're so tricky.
Hmm.
So, I mean, looking at that first number one, I mean, which preposition would you use by instinct? And you can see that they only give you two possibilities in the answers, and so it's definitely one of
Hmm.
those. Which one would you use for the Red Sea? Ran aground
Uh, in?
in the Red Sea. We would say in
In
the
the
Red Sea there, definitely, and not on the Red Sea. And so we do talk about somebody in the sea. If they're swimming or even a boat which is going, I agree it's going on the surface. I do agree. But we still say that somebody's in the Red Sea or in the Mediterranean Sea. We do use in for sea, certainly. And ocean. Yeah, they're in the Pacific Ocean. They're in the Indian Ocean. Yeah. Okay, so what about the next one? The box ship was, oh no, sorry, the Red Sea, some 100 nautical miles. Which one makes sense to
Um,
you?
I think it's from.
Excellent. So you've already narrowed it down to B or no, you've already got it correct. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what I mean by, that particular question seemed quite easy to me just because you didn't have to know all of the prepositions. It wasn't giving you a mark for each and every preposition. You only had to know two
Mm.
or three of them and then you'd get it correct. And so, yeah, in that sense, it's quite an easy test. But when I looked at question two, I mean, what did you think for question two?
I have no idea.
Yeah, and it's because I understand why. It's because you really do need to know keel over. You need to know batten down the hatches. You need to know tilted slightly. Was adrift. I see vocabulary, tricky vocabulary, in every single answer there. A, B, C, D, and E. They all have words which I would expect students in my classes not to know, just because they're marine vocabulary. It's all about shipping. It's all describing different ways boats move, or get stuck in various places, or lean over. And so I thought that was quite tricky. Do you have the answers for the test?
Not here right now, but I can find it for you.
No, I think I know the answer to this one. I think, if I had to choose, if you were forcing me to choose one, having just quickly read it just before the class, I would say it's became wedged and tilted slightly. I would say D, but I'm not 100%. The reason why I say D is because in the actual text it says after the grounding, so it ran aground, and when a boat runs aground, that means it hits the land. Yeah, the bottom of the boat hits the land and gets stuck. Yeah, when a ship runs aground, it's bad, of course. It means the ship has crashed, essentially, but it's crashed into the bed of the seabed. It's hit the ground, it's run aground. And so it definitely got stuck, it got wedged, became wedged. Wedged means stuck, became wedged. And then it tilted slightly. When you tilt, you lean to one side. And when boats tilt, we say they list. Yeah, we use this word, which is usually a noun, a list. But when a boat is listing to port or to starboard, and I'm not sure which one is which, really not. But when a boat is listing, it's tilting, it's leaning to one side. And so I guess that D is the correct answer. But I did think that was a very difficult question for an EFL student, just because there's so much specific vocabulary. It's really specialised. And I saw on the title of this that this was Marina do Brasil, so I gather it's a marine exam, and that you plan to work in the Navy or something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
I see.
But it's just 3 years of formation of, well, how can I say, the period that you are studying there.
It's just a 3-year course.
Yeah.
It's a
And then
3-year course.
you are able to, it's like a college, university,
Yeah.
but it's from the Navy.
Yeah, I see. So it's the Navy. It's a naval run course. So it's a 3-year course.
Yes.
But it's the equivalent of a degree at university, but it's a naval degree. Yeah.
Yes.
I see. Excellent. And is this the entrance exam?
Yes.
Well, I agree that it looks tricky to me. It doesn't look simple. It's not like most English exams that I've read. It's really specialised. It's certainly vocabulary from that particular area. And so would you like to go through this exam today, or would you like to focus on other things? Because you asked me about tenses in the grammar shed, and that's a very different topic. That's much more general English grammar, and of course I'll be happy to explain why in that first one it's got to be my bike has been stolen, and in the second one it's got to be who stole.
Let me think. Because yesterday I was doing your workbook. I've just done the first.
Was that grammar,
chapter.
master grammar, or master vocabulary?
Master grammar.
Master grammar. Okay, I've got that here somewhere. Where is it? It's down here.
I've done the first chapter and the second chapter.
I'm
doing one chapter a week.
Excellent.
It
follows the
same. Watching your videos.
Good. Yeah, it follows the same topics as in the videos, as in the lectures on Master Grammar, but I've only got half of them, unfortunately. I haven't written this part 2 yet. I've written about 50 pages for part 2, but I find it very demotivating because you don't get any money from books. You're basically writing books for free, and that's the world we live in nowadays, sadly. No one bothers writing books anymore because there's no money in it because of Amazon. They're the main reason why. I think so anyway. But so I wrote this really just for the course, but I can't put an extra price on the course either, and so there's no financial incentive for me to write part two, sadly.
Hmm.
But I was writing it, and I did plan on finishing it. But yeah, that's a good plan to watch the lectures and then do the exercises. Do the quizzes in the courses as well, but these will give you supplementary exercises. And so yeah,
Well,
go on.
I didn't know that I had so much difficulty or hard in the past examples. When I studied this, it was like 5 years ago because I've
You
done,
mean tenses? Yeah, when you studied
yeah,
tenses,
past tenses, yes,
past tenses.
because I've done
Good.
English course when I was in school.
Okay, I did then,
So
because when I was in school, yeah, as soon as you say when, it's got to be I did. I did an English course when I was in school, because school is
yeah, yeah,
finished. School is finished, and so it's got to be I did an English course when I was at school.
I even did the I when no.
Go on, go on. Don't just speak, just
Okay,
speak.
okay.
Don't worry.
I even did the 12 test. Do you know
No, 12 tests. No,
12? Yeah,
TOEFL. Yeah,
I
Do-
think it is this.
yeah, TOEFL. The TOEFL test. Okay, okay.
I think I got B. Of
Good. Yeah, excellent.
I don't know. It's that I can listen in more than I can talk to you. You know.
Yeah, of course. Listening is easier than speaking. I agree.
Yeah,
You know, I think with foreign languages, speaking is always the hardest part. But at the same time, it's the part, you know, the more you can speak, the easier the other parts become. You know, if you can
yeah,
remember a word when you're speaking, you never forget it when you're listening or reading or writing. There, you've got more time to think with those other skills. But with speaking, it's so spontaneous that naturally it's the hardest part. That's why I
yeah.
always say I like students to have speaking classes and not just buy the courses. Of course, you need speaking classes too.
Well, I think we can do the past tenses. What the question that I made before
Yeah,
in your
so let's look at
grammar
these.
chat.
Yeah, so let's look at these two questions. Let's look at these two sentences. Sorry. The first one. Look, my bike. Now, the most important word for deciding which tense to use in this question is look. Look means it's happening now. Yeah, and this is what brings it into the present. Remember, we call present perfect, even though it often refers to something, you know, the action often happened in the past. But the reason we call it present perfect is because it has a present result. And so this has a present result. You can't see the bike. It has gone. Yeah, we would say it like that. Not it went, it has gone. It has disappeared. Yeah, because you can't see it right now. And so here you would have to say, look, my bike has been stolen. Yeah, and then you can talk about the details of what happened, you know, earlier, and you use past simple. You say, I left it leaning against the fence in the morning, but now, and now is bringing it back into the present, now it has disappeared. Now it has gone. Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, and so it's tricky tense, but that look and now are the two main reasons why we say has been stolen and has disappeared. But left we put into past simple because you know that's finished. That doesn't have a relationship to the present. But the has been stolen and the has disappeared. That's right now. Yeah,
Okay.
it's tricky though. But in number 8. That first tense, yeah, while I was waiting for my train to arrive, yeah, and while is often past continuous, very, very often. You see, while I was reading, while I was waiting, while I was eating, yeah, you very often see past continuous. So we're already in past. We don't have a look there bringing us into the present. And so while I was waiting for my train to arrive, I didn't notice the thief who stole my wallet. Both of those things happened while I was waiting, and that's why they're the shorter actions. You know, he stole it quite quickly and you didn't notice it quite quickly. Notice is stative anyway, so you wouldn't say I wasn't noticing. Notice is always a stative verb. You can't use it in continuous. Yeah.
Well, I think I understand now because
Go on.
In number 2, it just happened, right? And in number 8, it was some time ago, something like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It has just happened. And when you say look, I want you to realise that this look is an imperative. We call it an imperative, but it's a present tense, isn't it? Imperatives always are. When you say stop, you're not talking about 5 minutes ago. And when you say wait, you're not talking about last year. Yeah, you're always talking about now when you use an imperative. So that's right now. The look, I like students to focus on signal words. I think that's the easiest way to understand tenses. Signal words mean that certain tenses are necessary. And that look, you're going to use present continuous or present perfect after saying a look because you're right there in the present. Yeah?
Right.
I say this often about stories, that it's actually the case, we don't often do it, but you can tell a story in present tense. You can say, so yesterday I walk into a bar, I see a man behind the bar, he's talking to a girl. We can actually tell a story in present tense. We usually use past, but it is possible to use present tenses. And if you do it in present tenses, every present perfect that becomes past perfect in past tenses. They really do map directly onto each other, and present continuous becomes past continuous. But it depends whether you're already telling a narrative. And that's why in that second question, we're in past tenses, and so it's got to be past simple. It won't be present perfect in number 8, because we're already while I was waiting. And so you can't suddenly say has done. It would have to be had done or did, past simple. Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, and so kind of keep all in present tenses or all in past tenses. Try not to... there are some situations where you'll need to go back into present tenses rather than past, but generally speaking, you stay with past tenses or you stay with present tenses. Let's try an exercise with tenses, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, okay, let's have a look at this one. Start screen share and... Hold on. Where is it? Wait. 1 second. Let's try putting it up like that, and now let's try start screen share. Yes, now it's working. Okay, can you see this one?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, and I know that if I get rid of that, yeah, now I can see both of us at the same time. Good. I can see the exercise and I can see you. So you've got to choose the correct. Yeah, please do get closer, and you've got to choose the correct tense for each verb. So number 1 is not recognise. So it's a man and a woman. They haven't seen each other for years. Yeah, notice I say haven't seen for years. 4 is our signal. So Debbie hasn't seen Tim for ages. They're catching up on old times. So Debbie, hi. What a coincidence seeing you here. How are you? Tim, you read Debbie just because she's got number 1 and number 2 there. So I'm fine.
Okay, so I can. No, just stop.
So yeah, it's great to see you. I almost, and I want you to use not recognise in the correct tense. And I think it starts with a really hard one, to be honest.
So I gotta choose how to.
You've got to tell me which tense not recognise would be. I almost, wasn't recognising, haven't recognised, didn't recognise. Which one?
Okay. I almost didn't recognize you.
Very good. Yeah, I almost didn't recognise you with a beard. Number 2, and you've got to use not see.
Okay. I haven't seen you for years.
Very good. Excellent. Because 4, yes, so haven't seen 4 years. Okay, it must be at least 6. I can't remember the last time we
met.
Excellent. Past simple, because last time, yeah, I can't remember the last time. Last time is usually a signal for past simple because it's finished. Okay, I can, it.
It,
Could use to be. In 1998 is very important here. That's a finished year.
Let me think. I think it was in Budapest.
Good. I can. It was in Budapest in 1998. Anytime you say when, it's past simple. Okay, wow, what a memory. What, number 5?
What do you do now?
Good, you can. You certainly can. And that means what job do you do now? Yeah, what do you do now? That means what job, and that is correct. But you can also say, what are you doing now? If you mean generally work and everything else as well. Yeah, so what do you do now would not be correct because of the answer. Number 6, I in New York. Yeah,
Okay.
that's not about work. And so what do you do is always about work. But what
I'm living
Oh,
in New York.
which tense is also correct for number 5? Yeah, if it's I'm living in New York.
So, and uh, what are you doing now?
Yeah, what are you doing now? Exactly. What are you doing now? I'm living in New York. Excellent. You know, what do you do is correct if it's I'm a plumber or I'm an electrician. Yeah. What do you do now? I'm a plumber. That's correct. Yeah, but what are you doing now? I'm living in New York. Yeah, excellent. You can also say I live in New York. Both correct there. I'm living sounds more temporary. I live sounds more permanent. That's the only difference. Okay, I'm living in New York. Number 7.
Mm,
Just come back. What kind of signal word is just?
I think it's. I'm just coming back.
You can actually, you can. Yeah, you can. But usually we use present perfect with just. I have just come back to visit my mother. Yeah, I have just come back to visit my mother. Um, so yeah, number 6, I'm living in New York. Yeah, I have just come back to visit my mother. Or, you know, if you say I'm just coming back to visit my mother, yeah, in conversational English, lots of people would use that tense. I must admit, lots of natives would use, I'm just coming back to visit my mother. But I have just come back. I want you to remember that one just because usually just is present perfect, usually. Okay, next one. Tim, great. How long?
How long have no? It's how long you are living or you're
I
have
prefer, I preferred your
been
first
living. I
instinct.
don't know.
How long is a signal for present perfect? Yeah, how long? If it's still true now, yeah. So, for example, tell me, how long have you been learning English?
I think like since I was a kid,
So, I want you to
something like
use
that.
I have been learning English since was a kid. Yeah, you say it all. Say it correctly with the correct tense. I have been learning English since I was a kid.
I have been learning English since I was a kid.
Excellent, because the more you say it, the easier it gets. Yeah, and notice you're
Okay.
using a signal, since. Since is a signal for have been living. Yeah, so I have been learning English since I was a kid. How long have you been living in Brazil?
I think since I was born, I have been living in Brazil since um, 20 years ago.
Okay, don't say ago with have been living. Don't say ago. You have to say I
Uh,
have been living since I was a kid, or since, or for 10 years, for 20 years. If you say ago, you have to use past simple. Yeah, you have to
I
say,
didn't know.
yeah, so you say I started learning English 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Yeah? Do you
Okay.
drive?
Yes, I do.
How long have you been driving?
I have been driving for 2 years.
Excellent. I have been driving for 2 years. Excellent. And by the way, if you change it into negative, yeah, I don't drive and I have never driven. Yeah, because I can't drive. Yeah, but we say I have never driven. We don't use the have been doing for the negatives. And even if you
Mhm.
say how long, I haven't driven, you know, maybe you have an accident and then you don't drive for 10 years. You say I haven't driven for 10 years. You don't say I haven't been driving for 10 years. You say haven't driven when it's negative, but have been driving for 2 years, certainly when it's positive. Okay, so number 9, I've been living there since 1999. Number 10, and sorry, you need to use the verb buy.
We bought a
Bo-
house.
Bought. Yeah, with a t.
Boat.
Bought.
Yeah,
Good. Bought.
boat.
Yeah, we bought a house. Good. Last year. So last year is always past simple. Very good. Okay, number 11, I see you.
I see you wearing a wedding ring.
I see you are wearing a wedding ring. Yeah. You could say I see you wearing. I saw her. Not usually in present simple. I see you are wearing. Yeah, 2 words for present continuous.
Okay.
Yeah. I see you are wearing a wedding ring. Okay, keep going. Yes, that's right. Fantastic. How long?
Have you been married?
Good. How long is present perfect? How long have you been married? Number 13, for 2 years
We had our
Good.
first child.
Yes, because 6 months ago. Ago is always past simple. Very good. No, so Tim, 14,
We broke up.
we broke up last year. Number 15,
She she has gone to Hungary. I don't know. She go back.
You can actually, yeah, you can. She has
Because-
gone back, yeah, because it's still true now. You can. It's 100% correct. She has gone back to Hungary. You could also say she went back to Hungary. Both are correct. You know, a lot of students decide that only one tense is correct, but that's wrong. Yeah, sometimes 2 tenses are correct, 3 tenses are correct. Sometimes you have a lot of options, and you certainly can. She has gone back to Hungary. That's completely fine. It sounds natural to me, so that's good. Okay, keep going. Go on.
No, but why can use, for example, she went to Hungary? Doesn't it think like she go to Hungary and come back, something like that? Because
No,
I think you told us in your video that we can't say, oh, he went to shopping, something like that.
okay, I know the example. I probably told you about. I remember I had a friend a long time ago, and my mum called, yeah, and instead of saying Dave has gone to the shops, she said Dave went to the shops, and that sounds like maybe I've already come back, maybe, but not necessarily. I would just say that what my friend said was misleading, just because if you use the present perfect, it makes it really, really clear that I'm still there. And that's why, yeah, I mean, present perfect is fine for this one. It's certainly correct. But because this was last year, yeah, it isn't now, yeah. I mean, when in my example, it was right at that moment I was in the shops. You know, because you're describing the details, you could use went back, or you could, you know, she went back to Hungary, or she has gone back to Hungary. Both are correct here. They really are. But just in that
Okay.
situation, I would always have said he has gone to the shop. The shops is a little bit different from another country, I suppose. It's just local, yeah, and yeah, I mean, I understand what has misled you here. I do, you know, I told people that story just because in that particular situation, went back did seem wrong to me. We would have always used he has gone to the shops when I'm not there and that person wants to speak to me. But here, there's not that kind of same dynamic. You know, it's a little bit different. She went back to Hungary and she's never coming back. Yeah, that kind of idea. Or she has gone back to Hungary. Both are correct anyway. Both are good. You know, don't worry about tenses so much that you overthink them. If 2 are correct, just say okay, good.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Number 16. And it's it's still live.
Still live. Okay. I'm sorry. Do you? No, wait. Wait a second.
Which tenses? You know, still can use a couple of different tenses.
Wait.
But there's only really one I can think of that works here. It's a question.
Do you still live where you used to live?
We'd normally use continuous. Yeah. Are you still living where you used to live? Because I suppose it sounds temporary when you say, are you still living where you used to live? Yeah. Are you still living? Do you still live where you used to live? I don't see anything particularly wrong with it, though. But I think perhaps we'd more often say, are you still living where you used to live? But I don't see anything wrong with, do you still live where you used to live? Both correct. Let's say both correct for that one. So well done. Keep going. No, 17.
I'm staying with my mom
Good.
at the moment.
Good. Number 18. Look for.
I'm looking for a flat for a month.
Not with 4. Not with 4. For months. For 5 years. For 10 years. For months. Not I am. You never use. I've been looking for a flat for months. Yeah, I have been looking for,
okay.
because for, yeah, how long, for, since, Don't use present continuous. Don't say I am learning English for 5 years. Say I have been learning English for 10 years. I have been living in Brazil for, I have been driving for 2 years. Yeah, it's the same thing. So I have been looking for a flat for months. Number 19.
Um, I, I, I don't know.
When you
I,
say how many times here, you usually use this tense.
mm, I, s- I, s- I don't know.
We usually use present perfect when we say how many times, yeah? I have read this book 3 times. I have seen this film 20 times. And I have seen about 50 flats.
Ah,
Yeah, I
okay,
have
okay.
seen, because we know how many flats, yeah, and it's referring to a lot of different times in the past, but it's important now. So I have seen about 50 flats, but 20?
I didn't find what I want.
Yet means I
I
haven't
haven't
found.
found. I
Yeah,
haven't
with
found.
yet, just like for, since, yet, already, just. Okay, 21, listen, Tim, I'll have to rush now. 21.
I will meet my sister.
Good.
I'm gonna meet.
I'm going to meet, I will meet, all correct, or I'm meeting. And I would say that usually we say I'm meeting him on Thursday, I'm seeing her on Friday. Yeah, we use present continuous for future with friends and family. In the next few days, we very often use present continuous then. Yeah, but that was good. I thought you did very well at that test. It's not an easy test at all. It's actually quite difficult because it's testing all tenses. Now, I have to disappear now because I have another Brazilian in 15 minutes. He's a surgeon. He's one of my favourite students. Do like having classes with him. And so yeah, I have to dash because I want to quickly make another cup of coffee. But
No problem.
I will see you another time. Yeah, I'll stay on the Grammar Shed, and I do talk to students there. But I'm glad that you
Okay.
come in for speaking classes. If you are interested in speaking classes, I do provide them, but Bitcoin only. I don't care about pounds, dollars, euros. Don't want them. Give them to someone else. But please do come for private classes. I'll be delighted. And yeah, have a great weekend, whatever you get up to.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. Speak soon. Bye bye.
Goodbye.